welcome back to my channel. I'm excited about today's video because I need it. I have really been struggling. I've really been struggling even with what content to post, but I do feel like this is going to help inspire me a little bit more to get more active on here. And what better time for some sort of like challenge than the winter, you know? So today's video is kind of going to be about locking in, like just locking in, getting into a really good cozy season routine and rhythm. Now I will say I feel like there is a difference between routine and rhythms and schedules. I'm not a big fan of schedules like by the hour. I am a huge fan of just habit stacking, having things that you know you want to do every day. You may not necessarily get them done at the same time or the same way. That looks amazing. All that to say, if you are a person like me who really struggles in the winter time with just feeling normal, feeling motivated, feeling well, just mentally, physically, all the things, then this video may be helpful for you. I want to preface with, as a mom of 2 children and I stay home with them 100%, I'm their caregiver 100% of the time. I am fully aware that a lot of this will depend on my children as well. Like if they're sick, I may need to change these things. You know, you just kind of go with the flow of your children. But we're gonna try my very best to stick with these things. And my plan is now is the time to start to get these things to feel normal as part of my routine. That way in the winter, when I already start to feel that slump, these are built in, they're already somewhat of a discipline for me, and it's not as hard to get a head start on them. So we're starting now so that when winter rolls around, I already have good things into place and I'm feeling a lot better about everything. The categories, we're gonna go over them, and this will be different for everybody. I just encourage you to think about like your life, what your schedule is like, what your income is like, just all the different categories and factors that play into a life, and try to think about what would work for you. First and foremost, we're gonna talk about the house. Household duties. I think last winter I had a literal cleaning schedule. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do that, but I have been really inspired lately by other creators and other people posting that like, instead of having a cleaning schedule, have it pretty vague, and they'll say like, on Mondays I do all my normal duties like dishes, laundry, all the things, but then I add in vacuuming. So they'll just add one designated. You want to color it with crayons? I'm just adding in like one designated chore per day is something that I'm feeling like I might do. Major things that I knew I wanted to take care of. 1, laundry. I love having clothes, but we just have too much of them. I love styling different clothes and things, but I think I've just come to realize that mentally I am not in a season where I can just have access to all the different pieces that I have. I need to minimize my closet and majorly minimize my children's closets. They have things that they have outgrown. They have things that they don't wear that are worn down. There's so much in their dressers, and it makes putting away laundry harder because there's not much room. It makes picking out their clothes harder because I don't even know what's in there. And they also will go up there throughout the day and change their outfits for fun, and it just makes like a giant mess, which I'm fine with, but if there was less in there, they would have less of a mess to make. So downsizing their laundry is the main goal, and I want it to be bare bones. So I actually already did this. I went through, I pulled all the summer clothes, I put them in a tote to save. I mean, they probably won't fit into them next year, but we will probably have future children, and if they're a boy, they can wear those. But I put away all the summer clothes. I never do that. I always just leave all of our stuff intermingled. Did you draw a person? That looks awesome.
Oh, the snowman.
I love it. I need to go through pajamas and majorly downsize those, but I'm not that worried about that. I feel like having a lot of pajamas is helpful. It's mainly the clothes. I just want them to have a few bottoms, a few tops, especially in the winter time. It's not like they're gonna be getting these items super messy outside all day. So that is the goal, because this will simplify laundry for me. I won't have as much to wash or put away, and I can stay on top of things. And if they only have a few items to wear, I will literally be forced to stay on top of laundry because they won't have anything to wear. I placed a big Old Navy order the other day because they had a 50% off sale. So I got each boy 4 tops, 4 bottoms, and 1 new pair of pajamas. And that was like around $115 for us, which was like I felt very reasonable for 2 children for most of their winter wardrobe. Of course, they'll need things like boots, socks, gloves, hats this year, but I feel really good about how minimal that is. The laundry is something that I wanted to tackle because that will significantly clear up a lot of space mentally for me and just physically not having the clutter. The next thing with the household is just obvious purging. We want to purge. I want to make sure that I'm not holding on to any junk, especially we're going into holiday season. Naturally, we're going to be collecting more stuff. So I want to make sure that I have the bare bones, what I need, and I'm not holding. I love it so much. I feel like naturally you collect things throughout the year that are just like, what is this? Where's the lid to this cup? How come we only have a lid for this cup and no base? Going through things like that in the kitchen, making space, especially we're going to be in the kitchen a lot more, baking, cooking, all those things. So just making sure that that space is neat and tidy for me because I love to cook and I love to bake. So I want to make sure that it's like as stress-free and seamless as possible. Next thing is implementing the basket method again because I totally got off my game over the summer. We just weren't inside, but I think I've talked about it in the past, having just a big basket that you either keep one downstairs, one upstairs. Throughout the day, if you do not have time to do an actual clean, things go in this basket. If it's in the dining room, but it belongs in the bedroom, throw it in the basket. And at the end of the day, I can take that basket and disperse, like walk around the house with me and take things and put them away as they go. This frees up a lot of space mentally during the day, makes it so much easier last minute before people come over to just throw stuff in this basket and hide the basket rather than like frantically running around and trying to put things away. And thirdly, I think I can help my toddlers implement this as a new chore for them to put things where they belong. It's like something to get them thinking like, all the things in this basket have a home. Where is their home? Those are the main goals with the household. We're locking in with that. We are not going to be overwhelmed by clutter and mess and chaos. We're going to welcome happy, playful messes and like the mess of baking and cooking and all of that. But we are not going to have clutter. We are not going to have stress. It is going to be cozy, curated mess is what it's going to be. Second category is my health. Last year was a pretty, I hate to use the word traumatizing, but it just was a pretty traumatizing sick season. We were the sickest we have ever been. I was the sickest I have ever been in my whole life. Austin and I both got the flu. I think I got it twice, or maybe it was something different, but we definitely did get the flu one time. Our children got every respiratory illness that went around. And it was like, these illnesses felt so big because they weren't just like, you know, a few days here and there and then we're recovered. It was like they were very sick for a full 5 days and then still mildly sick and recovering for another 5 days and then a lingering cough for like a month later. I had people leaving comments on my channel so kindly thinking that they were like being helpful, but trust me, when you're in the position of the person who is like always sick, you're already running through all the options. Do we have autoimmune diseases? Do we have mold? All the things. So I had people leaving comments like, you need to get your house checked for mold. It just was that kind of year last year. Our whole community was like this, okay? Now, I feel like we were a lot sicker. So over the summer, I've really focused on like vitamins, but just being outside in the sun as much as possible. And then obviously like eating better. So going into sick season, I really want to focus on our health, but my health especially because I just cannot afford to be down and out and not being able to take care of these kids. So I have been doing really well on my supplements and kept it very minimal because let's not even sugarcoat it. Supplements are so expensive, and I also am a firm believer that the less the better. Like, you don't always need a ton of supplements. You can find a couple good supplements that really work for you, and that can be it. So been doing that, focusing on hydrating and getting into a really good structured fitness routine, because that not only helps my physical health, but it just keeps me feeling sane. Like, I just feel like a normal, sane mother. I feel like my day is way less scatterbrained and I just feel more go with the flow and more ready for whatever chaos is going to come my way if I have first worked out and like moved my body and gotten those endorphins. So lately I have been getting up before my children and doing a workout. Doesn't matter what the workout is, but my goal is to stay as active as possible all winter long, and to make sure that if I can, that I'm doing that before my children wake up, because it's not impossible once they are awake, but I have noticed a significant difference in my mood and how my day goes if it happens first and before anyone else is awake. So trying to make sure that that is a habit that I really, really, really stick with. And I think that that's gonna help me so much and help my children. And I have found that if I just get out of bed, come straight down into my workout, then I'm so clear-headed and I spend time with the Lord and I just feel so present with him and so ready when my children wake up. I don't feel like, whoo, like you're already on 10, like the adrenaline rush, the stress levels. Even if you're a morning person, opening your eyes at the same time as a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, it is just full on, and it can like spike everything right away. Even if it's like the calmest morning ever, you are right away waking up and meeting the needs of other people. Waking up before the kids, as much as we all hate to hear it, I think there's no coincidence that like all the mothers that have gone before us have said, like, what is the one piece of advice you would give to mothers? Wake up before your kids. And I am fully aware there are seasons where that feels literally impossible. I have had 2 babies and both of them were not your stereotypical sleeping babies. Like, they were very much dependent upon me for sleep, and we did things very differently. So I was not getting a full night's rest for at least the first 2 years, exclusively nursing, no passies. Like, it was a lot. And so I know what it's like to be waking up a lot throughout the night, or have a child who just literally isn't sleeping. And so you feel like waking up and sacrificing even more sleep feels impossible. My thing is, the times that I did make it work, even in the lack of sleep, it was amazing for me. Trusting that the Lord will provide you with enough sleep. He can take 3 hours and multiply it and make it feel like a full 8 hours of sleep. I promise you that. If you trust him, if you're telling him, I am getting up and I'm dedicating this time to you, he can do that. But this, I think, can be like a personal conviction too. I think that you totally could be in the season where it's just not happening. And also, fact of the matter is, for a long time, waking up before my kids was me waking up before my oldest. My baby would wake up with me no matter what. And that was fine because he could just kind of chill and hang out with me, or I could wear him or something. It's a little different. So there's like so much nuance to it, but I am fully planning. I don't have a baby right now. I don't have any babies. I have full blown a child and a toddler. So I just personally feel like there's no excuse for me, and I want to take advantage of it. And I want to just be getting up and making that sacred time for the Lord, making that time for my health, and getting a good flow going for our home. This also would tie into the household, because when I wake up early like this, it gives me time to kind of kickstart some of these chores. I can start a load of laundry first thing in the morning. I can unload the dishwasher, make sure it's empty for the rest of the day. I can sweep or tidy up the playroom, or something that didn't get done the night before I can tackle before my children wake up. But mostly my mornings, I really want them to be moving my body and just being with the Lord and being as calm and as chill as possible. So when my kids wake up, I can give them all the energy and all the craziness that they want. Next category is finances. So this is a very touchy subject, but I will just be 100% honest with you guys. Austin and I have been in a very financially challenging season, I would say, since before we had our second child, just with major job transitions for him. We moved into a different house. Obviously that changes everything financially. Even if it was like a better decision, the economy has changed. So many things are changing. Our bills are just higher now. And it's like kind of this thing where our bills have slowly gone up against our control, and our income has slowly gone down a lot against our control. And so I fully want to say that I understand what it's like to be in a position where you are fully trusting the Lord for provision. And I know that social media can give like this false idea where people just assume that if someone is on social media, they're making a lot of money. You would be mind blown. You would be mind blown. Or maybe you don't assume that at all, but I'm just saying, I think everybody right now is being affected by just like financial hardships. But that is not an excuse for us anymore to be bad stewards of our money, to be pouting, and to be just like frantic. I just feel like I've had a revelation from the Lord to be like, okay, we're in the position we are in. Some part because of bad choices, some part because of things we could not control, but we still have everything we need. And God is asking us to steward that well. How can we do that better in this season right now? So we're going into holiday season. I am going to try my best to stay off of social media, like just mindless scrolling. I really want to set my limit to like 10 to 15 minutes a day if possible, because that will limit how much I am seeing people share links, people share what's at Target right now, people share what's at Walmart right now, people share what's on sale on Amazon right now. And yes, I will be shopping because I would like to get my children Christmas gifts and stuff, but I just do not want to be caught up in the consumerism, materialism mindset this holiday season and be a bad steward.
My arm.
You have a pumpkin stickle on your arm. So the goal is to minimize how much I'm even seeing all the like mindless shopping that is going on, but also simply just not participate in it. I really want to be very budgety, very savvy. Very budgety and very intentional with my shopping this year, and secondhand where possible. But also we totally have cracked down. We did a full budget audit the last month where I went over like our entire bank statements for the last 3 or 4 months and just like kind of looked at everything. We canceled a lot of subscriptions. There were areas where we could cut back a little bit, and just like seeing that all gave Austin and I just like a peace of mind, but also just a little bit more motivation on how we can both stick to a budget to try to get us a little bit ahead. Like taking advantage of free resources as often as possible. We go to the library once, sometimes twice a week. We get all of our books there, and it made me think, I'm like, all the times in holiday seasons especially that I was buying books because it was like, that's the thing you do. You get your children all the new Christmas books, all the new Easter, all the new Thanksgiving, Halloween. You get all those books. And they're literally at the library. You can rent it for free, return it, and then go get it again next season. Okay. Do you want to get down? You're going to go in the playroom?
No.
Okay. Going to the library, just going on walks, going to the park, making little activities that we can do for free to save on money. But I really just want to come out of 2025, go into 2026 with a very clear intention financially for what we are going to do and what we plan to do and what we're working towards. This kind of goes in line with food, or goes in line with health, but I was gonna also say food. As a busy mama, I have noticed I will think I'm eating more than I'm eating, and then because I didn't eat that much, I will binge eat on things, or I will just have like a lot of food that is not going to fill me up. It is not nutritional for me. It is not helping me, and I'll just like get so hungry. I'll get hangry. I'll get low blood sugar. All the things. I'm trying to be way more intentional about this and making sure I am actually eating when I am hungry. My children never go without. When they're hungry, they get a snack. When they're hungry, they get a meal. My children eat probably as often as I should. I just don't make the time for it. So really trying to focus on slowing down and actually feeding myself a meal, and like also making time at the beginning of the weeks to prep and set myself up for success in these areas. I have noticed a significant difference, and this is gonna seem so silly to you guys if you already do this, but in my head I was like, no, I do eat and I do drink water. I spent 2 weeks recently really focusing on that. I was prepping tea ahead of time to be carrying around in a mason jar with me to drink, things that were like very good for my health and had like vitamins and minerals, raspberry leaf tea, nettle tea, things like that. So I had teas that were prepped, I had breakfasts that were prepped, I always had something in the fridge that I could eat for lunch, not just my children, and was eating very nutritionally dense dinners. We always eat a nutritionally dense dinner, but I was adding in lots of fiber and lots of leafy greens and things like that. I focused on that for 2 weeks and focused on drinking a ton of water. When I tell you, I felt so much better. So much better. So for me, I have found that it always works better for me to stick to something if I focus on adding things in versus taking things away. For example, if you want to be on your phone less, instead of saying I want to be on my phone less, replace it with I want to read more. And then naturally, yes, you can go get a snack? naturally you will be on your phone less because you'll have more time to read. Or I want to eat more fiber and greens instead of saying I want to eat less sugar. Things like that make a huge difference, because when you're constantly focusing on what you're not having and what you're taking away, your brain is just gonna like hyperfixate on what you want and the fact that you can't have it, and then eventually it will lead to you just going crazy with that thing that you took away. And that saying that I'm adding something in makes a huge difference. So for food this year, I am adding in really rich, high fatty foods, lots of fiber, making sure that we are eating tons of fiber and just nutritionally dense foods at all times as much as possible, and avoiding, like, I want to eat as many naturally occurring foods in their naturally occurring state as possible, instead of saying I want to eat less processed foods, because I do want to eat less processed foods, but it's just easier for my brain and better for me if I word it the other way. So these are all things that are very attainable, but I just kind of, my brain benefits from just seeing it all laid out for me and knowing my rhythms and my routines and things that I want to stick with. Obviously there are even more specific things, like will be more specifics, but these are just the things that I'm trying to focus on, because I think if I can get them to be feeling normal and feeling like routine now, and just already know the benefits and how they're positively impacting my life, it won't be so hard in the middle of winter when I am struggling to be like, okay, what should I do to get out of this slump? No, we're already checked in. We will be in the flow, and all we will have to do is find the discipline to keep it going throughout the winter. So if you find yourself in a similar situation to me, where you are like a little bit anxious about winter coming and what that might mean for you and your family, I hope that this video was helpful and inspired you to make some plans for this winter, some things that will keep you and your family as a well-oiled machine as possible. But ultimately, seeking the Lord, seeking his face daily throughout it all, is what's going to give us the hope of that sun coming back this spring and summer. And I am trying my hardest this year to welcome fall and winter, all that comes with it, all the coziness, and just really embrace it for what it is. I think all seasons are beautiful, and I think that they all have purpose. So those are my goals, and I will see how it goes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Jesus loves you. Make sure you tell somebody else that today, and I'll see you guys soon.